Hey YouTubers, I'm back with a unboxing video. It's been a while since I've done one. I'll just say now, if you don't like unboxing videos, just stop watching now, because that's what this is. What's in the box is a HifiMan EF-5 tube. I guess it's really a tube and solid state hybrid headphone amplifier. I've been using a Schiit Audio Magni for the past few months, and I'm pretty happy with it, but I got some HifiMan HE-400 headphones, which I'll eventually do a review of, and I've been enjoying them a lot, and it kind of got me in the mood to try a different and possibly higher power headphone amp, even though they're pretty sensitive headphones. So anyway, I found this on eBay, and I have a confession to make. I haven't opened it, but it is an open box purchase, so I didn't get it for quite a used price, but I got it cheaper than a new one would have cost. So it may be that it looks opened once we get in there, but you're seeing it as I'm seeing it. I haven't seen it yet. So here we go. Benchmade Griptilian, awesome. I opened the box upside down. I'm a genius. You know, I should have noticed the printing is upside down, but he put the address label on the bottom, which I then thought was the top. So, oh well, I don't think anything of import fell out. So this looks like the tube guard, the little sort of elliptical plastic things. We'll go here. Looks like a power supply connector cable. I'm assuming this maybe protects the tube. Yeah, the tube's down in there. And then this is a two-part unit. It has a separate power supply, which I believe is what this is, and that's a pretty hefty little unit. It's pretty weighty. Looks like it's in good shape. Now, I didn't expect this to be perfect because it was an open box. Saved me a little bit of cash. And then here is the amplifier itself. And it looks like it's got the other tube guard on it, so you install this one once you've got the tube in. And it's in pretty good shape too. You know, it's been handled, but I expected that. Pretty nice looking piece of equipment. I have an EF-2A at work, and I like it really well. The volume control is heavy, and it's got slight detents. The design of the EF-2A is somewhat like this, but it's a much simpler amplifier. It's probably about that big. And it has a couple of tubes. I don't remember what type of tubes they are. So this one is their higher end model. It's in the middle. I think they've got one that's even higher end. This cost me $370, I think. That was shipped, and I think they're about $400 on Amazon, and the list is about $500. So it's going to look something like this once set up. Obviously you don't have to stack them, but you can. So something like that. The idea of separating out the power supply is that it keeps noise out of the amplifier. So that's a pretty good idea. It seems like these feet, they're hard plastic. It would be nicer if they were rubber. Maybe I'll put some little rubber dots on the feet. So I'm going to put this guy together, get him hooked into the system, and have a listen, and I'm sure I'll eventually do a real review of this thing. Alright, I'm assembling the unit. Really, there's not much to assemble. There's a little input tube, and then you pretty much just, it's keyed, so there's only one right way to put the tube in, and I'm going to put it into this socket. This isn't rocket science. And kind of rock a tube into place. I've got another video on changing the power tubes in my Conrad Johnson power amp. So now the tube is in place, and all I got to do is install this little tube guard. And there you have it. Let's take a slightly closer look at the amp now that I have it together. On the front we just got an on-off switch and a 1/4 inch headphone jack. The volume control is not particularly smooth. It's got some stepping in it, but it's not a stepped attenuator. It's not a fancy volume control. At least I don't think it is. I think it would snap a little more, but I can feel definite positions as I turn it. Not particularly smooth. It's got a really heavy feel in it, and it kind of feels frictiony. So I'm not loving that. On the top of the unit you can see it's got a transparent top, and it's got a couple of big heat sinks in there. Obviously the tube right there, which I just installed, and then on the sides we've got a little bit of venting to let the heat out, I suppose. On the back, just 2 RCA jacks for inputs, and then the power supply input. On the bottom there are a couple of dip switches, and you can see there that you use those to change the gain of the unit. And it looks like if they're in the on position you get a plus 10 dB gain out of it. I'll just leave it in its default position to start. So then the power supply, as I said before, this is a fairly heavy little unit. I'm sure it's just the transformer that's inside. So it's got an IEC power input on it, the on-off switch for the power supply, and then the input for the umbilical that then goes to the unit itself. Then here is the switch that takes you between, to international power. So this is like US and Canada, and then there's a 230 volt for I guess European. I think that's right. So that's nice. You could use this in a number of locations, so that's cool. And then there's a fuse holder, and that's it. I mean, there's not a whole lot to this thing. So I'm going to go hook it up into my system and check it out. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it sounds as good as the money I spent. Alright, catch you later. Thanks for watching.